do it all. The angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth of stone or ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. Wow, it's certainly it's been an eventful day around here. It's been a hell of a day. This particular monologue, I'm going to be naming "Prepare or Die." I'm actually going to do it in the Latin. I'll probably do both Latin and English. There's a reason why, and yes, we are going to be talking a little bit about preparedness again today, because it's important that we hit on this. It's important that we hit hard on this. It really is. Before we get into that stuff, I'm going to take care of the normal stuff, and before we even get to the normal stuff, I forgot to say something. I forgot to mention something yesterday. And I think it's pretty important. As you guys know, on our website, we are an affiliate for several different companies. Legacy, I'm showing them here. Legacy, Alpha Defense Company, Nitecore, My Freedom Smokes, and what's not down here, you can find in the store here, and it's Avid Hemp. We're an affiliate for all of those different companies. Essentially what happens is if you go through our website to purchase a product from any of those companies, we get a little bit, we get a small percentage for that sale. Now, we don't have a lot of people beating down the door to do that, although it does certainly help. So far to date, since I've been an affiliate, we've had 3 sales. And 2 out of those 3 sales did not register in share sale. And they happen to both be with Legacy, which I don't know where the issue is. I haven't been able to determine that to know for sure where the issue actually is. However, we did have a sale for Avid Hemp over the weekend. I believe it was over the weekend, and that registered right away. It worked perfect. So, don't hesitate if you're looking for any of the products from any of the companies that we're an affiliate for. Please don't hesitate. We're actually close to getting our first payment from them. I think we're like $15.50 away, not in sales, but in our commission from getting our first, I'm going to just call it a check for lack of a better word, from share sales. So we're getting actually pretty close. And I'm not saying this to push sales to the website or nothing. I just want everybody to know, because I've mentioned it in the past, that the sales weren't registering in share sale. It was actually getting pretty frustrating. Not that we had a lot of sales, but how would we know if we had a lot of sales if they weren't registering? You know what I mean? So I will ask that if anybody places an order, please tell me. Please let me know. That way I can check in the back end and make sure whether or not it registered. If not, I've already dealt with this twice. I can just get the order number from you. They ask like 3 things. I can't remember the order number, the time, the date, approximate time, the date, and it seems like there was one other thing that they asked, but I can get that little bit of information, and then they can get it credited to my account. So I forgot to mention it yesterday. So I don't know again where the issue was, but 2 out of 3 sales. The first 2 sales didn't register. Luckily, the buyer had notified me, let me know they had purchased something. I had contacted Share Sale and provided the information they needed, and they got it squared away. So I just wanted to add that. It was a very frustrating thing for me because I actually spent quite a bit of time when I put all this stuff on. It takes a little bit to set up. I'm just showing you one of the things here. It takes a little bit of time to get all this put in and set up and go in and get certain particular links and So it's frustrating to think that you might do something for nothing, So anyway, I just wanted to say that. As I've said many times before, if there is something that you're interested in, oh wow, that's gone. I'm going to have to fix that. If there is something that you are interested in, and we do not have it on the site, I'll go back to Avid Hemp because I thought it was there, but it's not. Okay, I'm going to have to update those. Normally there is a banner up here that you can click on. If you click on the banner, you can go to the site, but it doesn't matter. Even without the banner, if you click on an item from here, like say for instance, we're in the legacy gear. If I click on an item, like I just did, what it will do is it actually will put a cookie on your browser. And it doesn't matter. As long as now you're on a website, if you clicked on any one of the products from our website, you can turn around and click to go to the home page of the site or whatever, and you can go survival seeds, whatever it is that you want. And we're supposed to get credit for the sale. I better word it that way. We're supposed to get credit for the sales. So if you do utilize that method, I appreciate it highly. Every little bit helps. And I think you have to have $50 accrued in your commissions, and we're at like $34.50, something like that. We're getting pretty close. So some of the affiliate companies we're affiliates for, we get like 10% from. Some we get 15% from. I think the Avid Hemp, I think, is actually 20% is what we get from Avid Hemp, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, it helps. Believe me, it helps. Especially when we run into days like today. So it has been an insane day, to say the least. I believe your issue was first, was it not? Yeah, your issue was first. So Jen, bless her heart, and I don't mean that in a southern way as she's an idiot. I mean, bless her heart. She's had a rough go of things in life, all her life. And when she was approximately 12 or so, I guess she fell and broke a tooth off. So, that sucks. If for whatever reason you fall, of course she's got cerebral palsy and that adds other challenges with walking. So she broke a tooth off, and then I believe she said when she was 19, she fell once again and broke the same tooth, right? Yeah. Broke the same tooth off. So, falls are hell. But I'll tell you what's even more hell than a fall. What happened today? Because today, to top 2 falls to break her tooth off, she broke her tooth off eating chili. How that works, I don't know, but apparently there's something in chili that makes it more. I'm gonna make up a word here. Asaltaceous than concrete or whatever it is she fell on. So again, and this does work into preparedness. I am segueing into that. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's that was that makes for not such a good day. She hates doctors. I hate doctors. I know how she feels, and just the whole thing of it, But it's good. It's good that it happens now. Like I was telling her before, I'd rather it happen now than right after SHTF. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually a much better thing to happen now. Speaking of that, when it happened the second time, did you take the old piece back in with you or not? Oh, okay. I'm just wondering. And so anyway, that question crossed my mind, and I thought I better ask her. So let's go on to the next bit of fun for the day. Well, actually, there's a third thing. This really doesn't have, I don't know, but I'll mention it anyway. So I get a knock on the door, and go to the door, and it's a woman standing at the door in a yellow vest. And I thought maybe she might have been from France. Insert joke there, right? So anyway, she was from the power company, Ameren, in Illinois, that serves most of Illinois. And yeah, she was informing me that they were changing out meters on the gas meters. And so, yeah, we were blessed with a smart meter on our gas meter. Now, we don't have gas coming into our apartment, but the water heater downstairs and the dryer that we use is gas. So there's like 1 meter on the whole building. Anyway, yeah, fun. So we get a smart meter today on the gas. We've had them ever since we've been here on the power. But anyway, that's a side note. I'm sitting here, and the upstairs neighbor gets my attention to the window. I go, okay. So, it's a motion for me to come outside, and I walk out the front door, and there's Blue with about 3.5 foot or so of cable trailing behind her. Apparently her cable broke today, and so I am pleased, I am blessed, I am graced. She is the best dog. Folks, we live in town, okay? So she doesn't get the opportunity to just run, because we don't live in the country. There's leash laws and all that good stuff. So as far as getting a chance to learn her boundaries, she's never really had that opportunity to learn her boundaries. But for whatever reason, she stays in the yard. She does. I've let her loose. Don't get me wrong. I've let her loose when I've been out there and watching and stuff like that, so that way I could take off and chase after her if I needed to. She's always been good. She's always stayed in the yard. Anytime she's kind of wandered into a neighbor's yard, I could call her and she would come right back. Stayed in the yard. She got loose. She stayed in the yard. Absolutely incredible dog. How's that deal with preparedness? Well, simply this. When I built her last cable, because I built her last one, when I built it, I ordered enough cable to make 2. So you see, I was prepared. The old prepper thing goes, 2 is 1 is none, right? So all I had to do was take the ends off of her old one, put it on the new cable, and she's back in business again. So again, that's a tiny example of preparedness. It's indeed still important. The impact would have been minimal. So what? We actually have to take her for a walk to do her business, but she don't like doing her business on a leash, doing the walk. She's not used to it. She's used to her cable. But anyway, it was important that I was prepared and that I had a cable, and now it will be on the list of things to get in the near future, to buy another length of cable, probably the same length. So I've got 2 more cables worth of cable to be able to make. So, it's important. The reason why I'm talking about preparedness so much is because, it's my job to watch the news. And I do not like what I am seeing at all. I have been talking quite a bit here lately about the stock market. And folks, I'm telling you, this is not good. And I'll refresh it, even though, as you see, when I brought the page up, the page automatically refreshes anyway. Stock market's closed anyway, it doesn't matter. Dow closed in the green, 82.66. Okay? Now remember what I've been saying. We get these tiny bumps up. Now you watch tomorrow. I bet we're in the red, and I bet we're in the red hard. I bet we're in the red at least 300 or 400. I bet. We'll see. We'll check. This is what I'm saying is a matter of record, so you can hold me on it if I'm wrong. But I'm willing to bet that tomorrow we're going to be 400 in the red. Absolutely insane. Crypto right now is down a little. It was up actually earlier when I looked, but it's down a little. It has gotten above 3,500, but it seems weak. It's very volatile. All the markets very, very volatile. Not looking good here, folks. It is not looking good. Futures are already looking pretty dim. Okay, we'll see, but we have to keep an eye on this. This is insane. Dow is under 2,400 or 24,000. Dow is under 24,000. Okay, and I know it wasn't that long ago that all-time new high of 25,000. Blah blah blah. I know we're not real super far away from that, but folks, with the way the system works, everything can do an about face in the blink of an eye, and most of the time when the stock market does an about face, it's not in our favor. It's not for the good. Okay, usually when it makes a super quick move, it's down, not up. So we'll see what happens. We need to keep a very, very close eye on what happens. I can't beg you anymore. Get ready. Get ready. I am continuing to see things all over. And I know my gut feeling does nothing for you. I get that. I feel so weird saying, "Hey, look, I feel it in my gut," right? But I know my gut feeling, and I know how accurate my gut feeling is. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. But I want you to understand that when I say this, I mean even more so. But I feel it in my very being. I feel it all the way down to the bone. And when I say that, again, I mean even more so. More than I have ever felt this, ever. We're there. We're there. Now, there's a video and articles going around and stuff like that about martial law after Christmas. Folks, that's QAnon crap. Okay, and in fact, if you look on the posts that people are featuring when they talk about this stuff, you see, hashtag QAnon, right? It's crap. That data, that information is crap. Is it possible? Most certainly. For the reasons mentioned on that post, most certainly. Okay, do I see it on the horizon? Do I see it coming? You better believe it. You better believe it. What worries me is that we're going to reach a point in which, and I think we're starting to get there, which people are going to start writing off QAnon. And rightfully so. They should have wrote it off from the beginning. But what my fear is that people are going to write QAnon off at the wrong time. Meaning all this crap that he's predicted that's never seen the light of day, and something like this be for real. Because after all, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So be prepared. Not that I think that, QAnon has any special information or anything like that. I see this stuff on the horizon. And with the volatility of the stock market and everything else going on, I'm telling you, I don't even think most companies got out of the red this year with Black Friday sales. Jen was looking at an article earlier about a theater closing down. I believe it was a theater. Let me tell you something. Years ago, I almost went back to college. I was going to go to college for gaming, game programming. Okay, I was going to become a computer programmer, and that was going to be my specialty, was games. I almost pulled the trigger on that. I was so close to going back to school for that. And last minute I said, no, I'm gonna hold off. Good thing I did, for various reasons. But the reason why I picked that, okay, was because I seen the economy, I seen what was going on in the world, and I wanted to make a good choice. And a lot of people might be asking, how is going into game programming a good choice? How is that any smarter than going into the medical field or going into, some type of criminal field, whether it be a security or a prison guard or whatever, right? How could that be any better of a field? Well, I'll tell you what. Entertainment is the last. There's two industries. They kind of link them together. That are the last industries affected in a bad economy. And those industries are often only affected when you're at the point of no return. Those two industries are entertainment and alcohol. Alcohol will hold on longer than entertainment, okay? But by the time you get to that point to where entertainment has fallen and alcohol's still rising a little bit, because it will, it's already too late. Already too late. So see, years ago when I was debating going back to school, I thought about all this stuff. I thought, what would be an industry I could go into to where there would be security? And that's what I thought, gaming. Well, I should say game programming. Again, I'm not talking about somebody that tries to play Call of Duty and make money off of it. I'm talking about somebody who makes Call of Duty, who builds the game. I'm glad I didn't, but I wanted to use what I learned back then to explain to you exactly where we are sitting right now. We are in a bad position. And I'm primarily talking with the economy. There's, again, so many other things going on. It's unreal. And you're going to see that in the news articles I'm going to share with you. Sorry, I had to have a sip of coffee. Oh, my goodness. Good stuff. So get prepared. Do what you can. Whatever it is that you can. I don't want anybody to be discouraged from preparing or trying to prepare. Folks, we don't have much. We don't. But we're doing what we can. Everything that we can. I can tell you that we're far better off than most people that don't prepare at all. That I have no doubt. And I'm talking about in a physical sense. I mean with our physical preps. As far as mental, as far as spiritual, as far as knowledgeably prepared, we are like light years ahead of the curve, so to speak. Get prepared. No matter how much or how little it is. A 20-pound bag of rice does not cost much at all. I'm pretty sure it's like less than $10. You could go get a 20-pound bag of rice from Wally World, right? Say less than $10. I think it's like 7 something when I bought the one that we got. And then you could hit a dollar store, like a Dollar Tree or something, and they've got generic Spam. Because Spam's a little pricey. That's like, I think, 3 something a can or something like that. It's a little pricey. You can go to the dollar store and you can get $1 cans of it's generic Spam. If you could imagine there is a generic for Spam, but they've got them for $1, and it's pretty close to the same. Pretty close. You trust me, if you're starving, you're not going to care. But if you went and bought yourself a case, 12 cans of generic Spam from the dollar store, that's $12, and a 20-pound bag of rice from Walmart, you're looking at like $20. $20. Do you realize how many meals you could get out of that case of Spam and that 20-pound bag of rice? Absolutely incredible for that $20, what you could get out of that. Let's say one person, let's say two people, so that would make it a little easier. So for two people, let's say you use, and this is going to be a lot, okay? This is going to be more than you can probably eat. For two people, let's say you put in 2 cups of rice and a can of Spam, okay? That would probably sustain you for an entire day for 2 people, okay? So you're looking at, if you've got a dozen cans of Spam, you're looking at 12 days right there. Or in other words, 24 meals, okay? And by the way, at that point, you've not even taken a dent out of that bag of rice, okay? You're going to go through your Spam a lot faster. Now, you could ration yourself a lot more than that, and use, say, a third or a fourth of a can of Spam to your rice, to your cup of rice. You could do that. But there's a multitude of other routes that you can go. I'm giving you one idea. One idea. So $20, you could feed yourself, again, you could 2 people for a half a month and still have, probably 3/4 of the bag of rice or more left. Okay? So it can be done. It can be done. I didn't say you would be eating prime rib, but it can be done. And that's what's important is food. You've got to have food. You've got to have clean water. You've got to have a way to defend yourself. And to me, there's multiple ways to defend yourself. You don't have to have an AR-15. Okay? You don't have to have a samurai sword. Staying hidden is just as much, if not more, of a form of defense as any other. Because that's going to be your smartest plan anyway. To be able to stay hidden. You don't want to be out there in that nightmare. You do not want to be out there in that nightmare. Let me tell you something. I don't care how prepared you are. If you go to run out in that nightmare that's going to be out there when shit hits the fan, you're probably going to die. Just saying. I don't care how many tactical videos you've watched. Okay? That everybody has limits. Right? Everybody has limits. And if you're only, one person, or you go out with a group of 3 people, right? And you come up across a mob of people that see that you're clearly in a better position as them, you're probably going to be in some trouble. And the only way that you're not going to be is if you go out and just mow anybody down that you see. And then what the hell is that? That's no way to deal with it. Absolutely no way to deal with it. But I'm telling you, you have to account for everything after shit hits the fan. Everything. When you go out on a trip like that, let's say you go out, let's just say you go out to whatever, collect some water. Okay? And let's say you do happen to run across people or whatever, and everything seems kosher, everything seems cool. You go do your job, and you know what? If I was in that position, if I was out there on that street and I didn't have jack and I'm starving and I want to survive and I might have other people dependent on me that needs to survive, if I happen to see somebody that looks like they're doing a little better off than me, you think I'm going to confront them right then and there on the spot? No. I'm not that foolish. For one, their guard's going to be up, so that definitely decreases my chances of being on top of that situation. But I also have enough common sense to know they probably have more. So what I'm going to do is seem calm, cool, casual, nice, even polite. But when they turn their backs and they start to go home, I'm going to be behind them. And I'm going to follow them. And I'm going to find out where they go. And I'm going to do my best. Do my best to gain control over what they have. Not hard to do. Not hard to do. I'm just saying, it's better to be prepared so that you don't have to go out in the mess. So that you can stay hidden and you can stay alive. Okay, that's your best bet. Rambo is for the movies, not for trying to help your loved ones survive through a tragedy. So get prepared, because you can't stay hidden if you don't have the supplies to be able to stay hidden. That's why I push it so much. Because I know anytime you go out your door, wherever it is that you're at, you are taking another chance. So have as much stuff as you can. Use all the proper techniques. Keep the amount of sound that you make down. Try, if you can, not to have fires that produce a lot of smoke if you have to have a fire. You know, use proper techniques so that other people don't see your light. Be as invisible as you can possibly be. And there's a lot of techniques for that. Sometimes you can be invisible in plain sight. So I would suggest to prepare in those areas by looking for information. There's plenty of information online on how to maintain proper light discipline, how to maintain proper sound discipline, smoke discipline. Plenty of information out there. Like I've told you, knowledge is very vital to this. It's not the most important, but it's up there. Remember, I'm going to say it again. Number one is spiritual preparedness. And I'm not saying that you have to worship my God, but you have to have something bigger than you that you're fighting for. So spiritually prepared is number one. Number two, mentally prepared. Because if you lose your mind, it doesn't matter what you have, it doesn't matter what you know. If you are mentally screwed, nothing else matters. Number three is knowledgeably prepared. Because if you know how to do things, if you have the ability to do things, the skills to do things, you're going to make it a lot further than the majority. Folks, do you realize how many people out there these days don't even know how to change a tire on a car? I'm telling you, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way. And lastly, it's physically prepared. And I put that last because if you got your other three houses in order, if you're spiritually prepared, if you're mentally prepared, if you're knowledgeably prepared, you can do a lot with a little. That's why it's last. And one of the reasons why, again, to be number two, mentally prepared, to put that last, is so that we aren't so reliant on those physical things. Okay? Because if you got your entire preps built around what you physically own, and you lose that, you're probably going to lose your mind. Because you're not going to know what to do, you're going to be confused, you're going to be scared, you're going to be vulnerable. So by putting that physical preparedness last, you're also working on your mental preparedness. Believe me, I went over that priority list for a long time. I really did. I struggled with it. I probably wouldn't have given you the same order of that list, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. I mean, I would have kept spiritually prepared number 1, but I would have probably told you number 2 was physically prepared. I probably would have. Anyway, let's get through some other stuff, shall we? YouTube, we're looking at $8.89. Let's see. And of course, Google AdSense is the same, $81.38. You guys know the drill with this. I'm not going to go through it again right now. Again, I'll just say super chats help, folks. We're close. We're like less than $20 from being able to tell Google AdSense and YouTube monetization to go where they deserve to go, which would be, well, hell. Hell. Sounds like a good place for this time of year. We could send Hillary down there. They could all have a party with McCain and Bush Sr., and it would be a blast, right? So anyway, I'm not going to go through all that stuff right now because I've spent a little longer than what I probably anticipated on the preparedness topic. So it is what it is. Okay, sip of coffee. Okay, let's do this even if it's wrong. Okay, this is a local story here. Wife confessed to killing missing St. Genevieve County man. Hid his body in his car. Absolutely insane. Why do I post that on our kind of news? Because, folks, the minicide is so strong, and that's what I've been calling it. The minicide is so strong in this country that I feel that it is imperative that these things are pointed out. Okay? Imperative. What is happening in this country is minicide. And it's crazy. It is insane. Stuff like this hardly gets the light of day. Hardly gets the light of day. Real quick, I'll remind of this story. I've mentioned this before on the show. But this is so jaw-dropping to me. A little while back, a couple years or so, there's a town probably about 20 minutes away from me. A woman, for whatever reason, shot her ex-husband / boyfriend. Yes, I said that correctly. They were married, got divorced, and they got back together. I don't believe they were remarried, though. Shot him in the head. And I forget how many kids. Do you remember how many kids? Like 7? Was it 5? I don't know, a bunch of kids. She shot the guy in the head and caught the house on fire and tried to burn the man. Well, he was already dead, so he was going to burn. But they had like a total of like 6 children, I think. I think 5 of them were in the house when she tried burning it down. So she tried burning 5 of her children in a fire. Hops in her vehicle. The only child she took with her was an infant child. The only one she took with her. Like I said, she tried to kill the others in a fire. She drove from the town of Glen Carbon, where they live, to the edge of Highland, where we live, and drove her SUV into Highland Silver Lake with that infant in the car. So after killing her husband / ex-husband / boyfriend, attempting to kill all of her other children, which they all got out okay. They all got out safe, thank the Lord. Then she tried driving her SUV. No, she didn't try. She did drive her SUV into Highland Silver Lake and attempted to drown herself and her infant child. Well, she succeeded on herself. She drowned. Luckily for that child, an EMT off duty happened to be driving right in that area right as that happened and seen her headlights go down the embankment into the lake. So he immediately contacted quote-unquote authorities and let them know that he was beginning to do whatever, do his job, essentially. And, of course, they sent ambulances, police, the whole 9 yards. But it was because of that, the quick actions of that first responder. Now, see, that's when a first responder is truly a first responder, right? That's when the actions of that first responder really paid off. Because he was able to get down in that SUV, he was able to do some sweeps of the vehicle and find the car seat, release the child from the car seat. I don't believe the child was initially breathing. I think he did CPR. I believe on the, I don't know if it was on the bank. It doesn't. He did CPR and the child started breathing again. Saved the child's life. Now here's the point that I wanted to make note of. Okay? All you heard the news or anybody talk about was how he must have been a horrible guy because she had previously had protection orders on him. And I'm thinking, okay, and I'm not saying he was a good guy. I don't know. But I do have to question it when a mother is willing to burn like 5 of her own children and drowned an infant. At least that sparks my mind to ask some questions. Need to stop the minicide, folks. It is destroying us. It is destroying the fabric. It really is. There's some pretty common things when we start looking at these mass shooters. That is psychotropic medications and fatherless homes. Anyway, U.S. confirms pullout from INF treaty. Moscow will respond if missiles placed in Europe. Not good. Another one of the many things that I'm keeping a close eye on. I don't know why I am showing offline. I'm trying to get my page to come up. Am I showing okay over there? Oh, okay. I don't know why I was showing offline on here, but I was. Anyway, sorry about that. Let me continue on. Let's see. Systematic cover-up. Catholic sex abuse probe spreads to 45 states. Now, if you're not Obama, you realize that we have 50 states. What did he say? 57, I think? Something like that. We're 5 states shy of every state being affected by this Catholic sex abuse. And I'm willing to bet that it is all 50. But we're at 45 states. What is it? What are the people waiting for? Now, you all know that I am a firm believer in God. Not a believer of church. I'm a firm believer in God. Why are these Catholic churches still existing in this country? I'll leave that at that. It boggles my mind that the people are allowing this. 45 out of 50 states. UN Assembly approves Ukraine-sponsored resolution on Azov Sea affair with nearly half abstaining. Gotta love this. U.S. arms concern warns Canada of billions of dollars of liability if Trudeau scraps Saudi deal. So it's not bad enough, right? It's not bad enough that our government is going to continue all these weapons deals with Saudi Arabia, but now the U.S. is threatening other countries if they want to pull out of their weapons deals with Saudi Arabia. And people don't see a problem with this. Trump is the very elite that he goes on about. And it's right there. Folks, you can't hide that. You can't hide that. The only thing you can do is either ignore it or refuse to see it. That is the military-industrial complex that we were warned about. No existing countermeasures, and this one goes out to all the flag wavers out there that I keep telling this to over and over and over, and for some reason they choose to ignore it or refuse to see it. No existing countermeasures to Russian hypersonic weapons, U.S. government report admits. How many times have I said that we cannot defend against their missile technology? Hell, we can't defend against their plane technology. Pentagon ready to admit problem of rampant Special Forces crimes. U.S. protectionism leading global trade into a deep crisis. Japan to get first aircraft carriers since World War II as part of record $242 billion defense plan. You know, for the most part, the people, the citizens of these countries don't want to fight each other. They don't. They just want to live as they see fit. That's all. Everywhere I turn, government is the problem. Wall or fence, Trump and Dems clash on what to build on Mexico border amid risk of government shutdown. The best thing we could ever have was a government shutdown. Boys can have, and this story I started seeing before today, but it came out on RT today. Boys can have periods too. And we're not talking about like recess period or anything like that. No, we're talking about menstrual cycle period. Brighton School's updated curriculum sparks outrage. What is wrong? Oh, minicide. Minicide. That is what's wrong. Coal and stocking markets on track for worst December since Great Depression. We actually reported on that yesterday as well, but RT was coming out again today about it because things are not looking any different today. China and Japan lead global dumping of U.S. sovereign debt. Now, let me say those countries again. China and Japan. We're done. The U.S. dollar, done. 66 nations voted for whatever provocation now comes from Kiev, says a Russian senator. They're doing everything to make Russia look like the bad guy, regardless of what happens, right? So they're trying to put all this stuff in place so that they can provoke Russia. Russia can actually defend its interests, and they can make Russia look like the bad guy and have, and I'm going to say this even though it sounds so stupid, legal standing to attack Russia. Crude oil slides to year lows on oversupply fears despite agreed cuts. You see that? Whatever happened to the oil shortage? I thought we were going to have a fuel shortage. Weren't we going to have an oil shortage like, you know, they were telling us about it in the 70s, and oh my God, we're probably not going to make it to the 90s. We won't have any oil. And now there's oversupply, and they're doing everything they can to stop the supply of oil so they can raise the prices. It's mind-boggling. It really is. Creation of Kosovo army is a illegal and dangerous move that can lead to war. At least that's what some people are saying. I really don't know. I haven't dug into that to be able to give you my thoughts. Wow. Just got crop dusted by Blue. Authoritarian surveillance tool. Authoritarian, sorry. I've got this like wavering green mist floating in front of me that's about to make me pass out. Thank you very much, Blue. We love you too, babe. We'll try that again. Authoritarian surveillance tool. Police scan. I don't even want to breathe. Can I just hold my breath for a minute? Police scan faces of London Christmas shoppers in controversial trial. Coming, folks. It's already here. It's probably already there too. But you know they got to make it look like it's new and that it's acceptable, and you know the drill. Russia will easily design new missiles to defend itself if U.S. pulls out of INF. Chicago police officers killed by train while pursuing shooting suspect. All I can say is I could use a J Snip 4 song right here, and I'll leave that at that. Nightmare Before Christmas, and this is sad. Santa dies at kindergarten party. Now, this was in Russia, and they have Father Frost in Russia, but that is sad. From reading the article, he didn't actually die right there, but he had I'm assuming he had a heart attack. He was experiencing chest pain, and so they called an ambulance, and apparently he passed on the way to the hospital. So that's sad. It really is. Oil will skyrocket to $300 if OPEC and Russia alliance disbanded, a Saudi institute claims. Blame it on Russia. And who's blaming it on Russia? Saudi Arabia. See how that works? Goldman Sachs. Listen to this. Goldman Sachs faces criminal charges in Malaysia for helping billions, with a B, vanish from state fund. What? But you know what? Little to nothing will happen. Little to nothing. And we allow this, folks. We are allowing this. Anytime anybody gets ready to actually try to make America great again, put on your boots and let's go kick some ass. I'm waiting. Trump orders creation of Space Command to advance U.S. military space ops. Space Force! I want to be in the Space Force. Can I be in the Space Force? Mommy, when I grow up, I want to... I'm just kidding. I'll never grow up. Thousands of troops ready in case of no-deal Brexit. Defense Secretary stokes fear of chaos. We'll see. We'll see. That's what we need. We need chaos in every country on the planet. We do. We do. We've got to set things straight. And unfortunately, it's going to make for a rough go of things. That's why I tell you to be prepared. That's why I tell you to be prepared. Stay out of the mess. The only way you can stay out of the mess is if you don't have to go into the mess. Better have those things that you need to do that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the monologue. For those that watch the live show, we've got plenty more to come. We'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. For those that just watched the monologue or the recording thereof, thank you very much. Please, please prepare. And as always, God bless you, we love you, and be one with your spirit.